Hello, Adam Maths Tutor here with a walkthrough of the GCSE Edexcel November 2020 Foundation Paper 2. These were the papers that were originally meant to be used in the summer of June 2020 but were cancelled due to COVID and then reused in the following November. Let's get started.
Question 1. Write 0.37 as a fraction. 0.3 goes up to the tenths column and the hundredths column. So we write the significant figures 37 out of the lowest place value that it goes down to, which is the hundredths, so out of 100. And this fraction can't be simplified. Question 2. Round 29,381 to the nearest thousand. This is my units, tens, hundreds, thousandths, 10 thousands. Rounding to the nearest thousand means I need to put my line after the thousands column. I look at the next number and decide whether it's 5 or more. If it's not, then I need to round down, so this number would be 29,000. Question 3. Simplify 3e, take away e, plus 4e. The mistake that people make here is doing addition first because of BIDMAS, but when you're left with addition and subtraction at the end, you should just be doing the calculation from left to right. So 3e take away e is 2e, and then plus 4e would be a total of 6e. Question 4. Write 1/4 as a percentage. This should be one that you try and remember for your exam, but if you can't, then we can make this equal to a fraction that's out of 100. To get from 4 to 100, I'd have to times by 25, so do the same to the numerator, and that gives us 25. When out of 100, a percentage would just be the numerator, so 25%. Question 5. Here is a list of numbers. From the numbers in the list, write down a cube number. So a cube number is a number that's being multiplied by itself and itself again. So 1 cubed would be 1 times 1 times 1, which is equal to 1. 2 cubed would be equal to 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. And 3 cubed would be equal to 3 times 3 times 3, which is 27. And this is the same as this number in the list here, which means that 27 is a cube number. Question 6. Liz is watching a film at the cinema. The film started at 14:30 and is 105 minutes long. When the film ends, Liz takes 20 minutes to get to the bus stop. A bus leaves at 16:45. Does Liz get to the bus stop in time to get the bus? You must show all of your working. So I think converting the 105 minutes into hours and minutes would be quite helpful to start off with. So there's 60 minutes in 1 hour, which means that there would be a 45-minute remainder left over. If the film started at 14:30 and it took 1 hour 45 minutes, I can just start by adding on 1 hour, which would be 15:30. Then I can add the 45 minutes on, which would be 16:15. And lastly, when the film finished, it took Liz 20 minutes to get to the bus stop. So add on 20 minutes, and that would be 16:35. Therefore, Liz does arrive at the bus stop to get the bus, as there's 10 minutes before the bus leaves. Question 7. Farhad, George and Tom each did a test. Here are their marks for the test. George drew this bar chart to show the marks they got. The bar chart is not fully correct. Write down 2 things that are wrong with George's bar chart. So the first thing I notice is that this bar here is wider than the others. So there are unequal bar widths. They should be the same width. The next thing I notice is that it jumps from 0 to 71. The y-axis scale shouldn't jump from 0 to 71. There should be even intervals. Question 8. Work out the size of the angle marked x. So these 2 angles form a straight line, which means that they should add to make 180. So to work out x, I just need to do 180, take away the angle which I know, which is 150, and this will tell me x, which is 30. And the reason would be angles on a straight line add to 180 degrees. Part B. The diagram below is wrong. Explain why. So they've labelled this angle here as a right angle, which means it should be 90 degrees. And I know that angles around a point should add to make 360 degrees. So 90 plus 280 degrees is 370. Angles around a point should add to 360 degrees. Question 9. This scale can be used to change between kilometres and miles. Use the scale to change 40 kilometres to miles. So 40 kilometres is here, which looks to be about halfway in between 20 and 30, so about 25. Part B. Here is an approximate rule to change from kilometres to miles. First, you need to divide the distance in kilometres by 10, and next you then multiply by 6. Use this approximate rule to change 40 kilometres into miles. So the first thing I need to do is divide by 10. 40 divided by 10 is 4. And next I need to multiply by 6. 4 times 6 is 24. Part C, compare your answer to Part B with your answer to Part A. The approximate rule is fairly accurate. It gives an answer 1 mile less. 24 is slightly less than 25 miles. Question 10a. 3m is equal to 36. Therefore, I can divide by 3. And m is equal to 12. Part B. 7. Take away x is equal to 3. Start by taking away 7. So negative x is equal to negative 4. And if negative x equals negative 4, x must be equal to 4. Question 11. Here is a cuboid. Work out the volume of the cuboid. To find the volume of a cuboid or a prism, I first need to find the area of the cross-section, which is the face that appears throughout the whole of the shape. So 4 times 10 for the area of the rectangle would be 40 centimetres squared. And then to find the volume from the cross-section, I then need to multiply by the height or the depth of the shape, which in this case would be 15. 40 times 15 is 600 centimetres cubed. And notice that the centimetres cubed is not given to you on the answer line, so you will be awarded a whole mark for getting the units correct. So 600 centimetres cubed. Question 12. Lucy uses a code to open a lock. The code is a letter followed by a 2-digit number. The letter is L or U, and the number is a prime number between 20 and 30. Write down all of the possibilities for Lucy's code. The letters are already given to me, but I haven't been given the prime numbers between 20 and 30, so I'm going to need to work these out. It's not 21, as that's in the 3 and 7 times table. 23 is a prime number. 25 isn't, it's the 5 times table. 27 is in the 3 and the 9 times table. 29 is a prime number, and that's all of them between 20 and 30. So the combinations would be L with 23, L with 29, U with 23, and U with 29. Question 13. A machine fills bags with sweets. There are 4,275 sweets, and there are 28 sweets in each full bag. So 4,275 divided by 28 will tell me how many bags, which would be 152.678 ... This means that I would have 152 full bags. The machine fills as many bags as possible. How many sweets are left over? So if I filled 152 bags and there's 28 sweets in each bag, I can multiply these together. That gives me 4,256. And then taking this away from the starting number will tell me what my remainder or the leftover sweets would be, and that's 19 sweets. Question 14. The table gives information about the number of goals scored by each of 3 teams. Draw an accurate pie chart for this information. What I'll need to do is work out how much one goal represents in degrees, and I can do this by adding up the total number of goals So 50 plus 45 plus 25 is 120. And I know that the angles in a circle will total 360 degrees. So start off by doing 360 divided by 120, and that gives me 3 degrees for each goal. So to get from the number of goals to the angle, I just need to multiply all of these by 3. So the angle for each of these would represent 150 degrees, 135 degrees, and 75 degrees. These should add to give you 360 degrees, which they do. Then use a protractor to measure the angles. So 150 degrees would be something around here, and this is city. 135 degrees would look like this, which is Rovers, and the last section will be about 75 degrees, which is United. Question 15. T equals 3x plus 4y. Part A. Work out the value of t when x is equal to 5 and y is equal to negative 7. So t is equal to 3 lots of x, which is 5, plus 4 lots of y, which is negative 7. So t would be equal to 15, take away 28, which is equal to negative 13. Part B. Work out the value of y when t is equal to 38 and x is equal to 6. So 38 would be equal to 3 lots of 6 plus 4y, which is what I'm trying to work out. So 38 would be equal to 18 plus 4y. I can then take away the 18, so 20 would be equal to 4y. And the last step to solve this would be to divide by 4. So therefore y would be equal to 5. Question 16. An exam has 2 papers, paper 1 and paper 2. Paper 1 has 60 marks and paper 2 has 90 marks. That would be a total of 150 marks. The pass mark is 2/3 of the total number of marks, and 2/3 of 150 is equal to 150 divided by 3 is 50, times by 2 is 100, and this is the pass mark. Danielle gets 70% of the marks for paper 1. So paper 1 was out of 60 marks, and to work out 70% I can times by 0.7 as a multiplier, and this gives me 42 marks from paper 1. If the pass mark is 100, take away the 42 that she's got from paper 1, and that will tell you how many marks she needs for paper 2. Question 17. Scott wants to make orange juice. He is going to buy boxes of oranges. There are 24 oranges in each box of oranges, and 30 oranges make 2 litres of orange juice. Scott needs to buy enough oranges to make 8 litres of orange juice. Work out the total number of boxes of oranges that Scott needs to buy. You must show all of your working. So I know that 2 litres can be made using 30 oranges, and I wanted to make enough to get to 8 litres. So to get from 2 litres to 8 litres, I would need to multiply it by 4. So that means I'm going to need 120 oranges. If there are 24 oranges in each box, I can divide this by 24, and this will tell me how many boxes I will have, which is 5 boxes. Scott also buys 1,260 apples, 280 bananas. Write down the ratio of the number of apples that Scott buys to the number of bananas that he buys. So the number of apples was 1,260, and we're writing that as a ratio to the number of bananas he buys, which is 280. Give this as a ratio in its simplest form. Straight away I can get rid of these zeros by dividing both sides by 10. Then because both of these numbers are even, I'm going to divide by 2. 126 divided by 2 is 63. 28 divided by 2 is 14. Now I can spot that both of these are in the 7 times table. 63 divided by 7 is 9, and 14 divided by 7 is 2. This can't be simplified any further, so the final answer is 9 to 2. Question 18. Describe fully the single transformation that maps triangle A onto triangle B. We can see that the triangle hasn't changed size, it's just turned around. So this is going to be a rotation, and you can see that the triangle has rotated 2 turns, which is the same as 180 degrees. And we don't have to state whether this is clockwise or anti-clockwise, since 180 degrees either way will result in the same position. So the last thing I need to do is say which point it's about. So you put your tracing paper over triangle A and around the middle of the shapes, and you use your pencil to highlight a position. Put your pencil, rotate the tracing paper and see when it matches up with B. So it's not going to be this point here. It's actually going to give you the correct rotation when you put your pencil on this coordinate, which is -1 in the x direction and 0 in the y direction. Question 19. Adam, Linda and Ritis share an amount of money. So Linda gets 3 times as much money as Ritis gets. So Linda to Ritis would be 3 to 1. And then Linda gets half as much money as Adam gets. So Adam to Linda, well, if Linda had 3 parts and she gets half as much as Adam gets, so Adam would get 6 parts, then I can combine these ratios and write them as Adam to Linda to Ritis, which was 6 to 3 to 1. Now I'll be able to write it as a fraction of the total amount. So I know that there's a total of 10, and I'm looking for the amount that Linda gets, which is 3 of those parts, so 3 out of 10. Question 20. Pens and pencils are sold in a shop. 12 pencils cost £1.80. The ratio of the cost of a pen to the cost of a pencil is 7 to 3. Work out the cost of 5 pens. So 12 pencils have a cost of £1.80. That means that 1 pencil would have a cost of 0.15 if I divide by 12. I was told that the ratio of the cost of a pen to the cost of a pencil was 7 to 3. So that means that 15 pence represents 3 parts. So if I divide by 3, that will tell me the cost of 1 part, which is 5 pence. And then I can multiply it by 7 to get the cost of a pen, which would be 0.35. And if I've got 5 lots of these pens, I would just need to times this by 5, which would give me £1.75. Question 21a. Write 84 as a product of its prime factors. So when you have an even number, the easiest thing to do is start by dividing by 2. So 2 lots of 42 is 84, 2 lots of 21 is 42, and 3 lots of 7 is 21. So these are my prime factors, 2, 2, 3, and 7. So writing these as a product, that would be 2 times 2 times 3 times 7. And I can simplify this part here, so the final answer should be 2 squared times 3 times 7. Part B. Find the lowest common multiple of 60 and 84. I think the expectation is that you use the product of prime factors that you found from part A, but since you have a calculator, it wouldn't be too difficult to start with 84 and to keep adding 84 using your calculator. So 168, 252, 336. Once you've done a few, stop there and move over to the other number. So 60, 120, 180, 240, 300, 360, 420. Switch back over to the other number, add on 84, and the next one is 420. So we managed to find the lowest common multiple. So the lowest multiple that appears in both of those lists would be 420. Question 22. Complete the Venn diagram for this information. So from the list of numbers, I'm just going to start by writing down all of the even ones. 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. And then the factors of 10 would be 1, 2, 5, and 10. So start with the middle of the Venn diagram and write down the numbers that appear in both of the lists. So that would be 2, which is in both of them, and it would also be 10 in both of them. Then on the outside of A, I just need to write down all of the other numbers, so 4, 6, and 8. And I can do the same with factors of 10. 1 and 5 can go on the outside. And then outside of your sets or your circles, you need to write down all of the numbers that you haven't used so far. So we've used 1, we've used 2, 3 needs to go outside, we used 4, we used 5, we used 6, 7 needs to go outside, we used 8, and the last one we need to put outside is 9 because we used 10 as well. A number is chosen at random from the Venn diagram or the universal set. Find the probability that this number is in the set A and B. So this would be the intersection in the middle. There's two numbers out of a total of 10, and you don't have to simplify probability, but you can, if you wanted to, write this as 1/5. Question 23. Carlo puts tins into small boxes and large boxes. He puts 6 tins into each small box, and he puts 20 tins into each large box. Carlo puts a total of 3,000 tins into the boxes, so that the number of tins in the small boxes to the number of tins in the large boxes is 2 to 3. I can use this information to work out how many of them should be small and how many should be large. So work out how many parts there are in total. So 2 plus 3 is 5. Divide 3,000 by the amount of parts that you have, which is 600. And then the small boxes represented 2 of these, so 2 times 600. And the large boxes represented 3 of these, so 3 times 600. So there would be 1,200 small boxes, and there would be 1,800 large boxes. Carlo put 6 tins into each small box, so if I divide 1,200 by 6, that tells me that I would have 200 boxes, and he puts 20 tins into each large box. So divide this by 20, and that gives me 90 large boxes. Carlo says that less than 30% of the boxes filled with tins are large boxes. Is Carlo correct? To work out the percentage, I need to do the total amount of large boxes, which is 90, divided by the total number of boxes, which is 290, and then you can convert this into a percentage by timesing by 100. This gives me 31%. Therefore, Carlo is wrong because 31% is actually greater, not less than 30%. Question 24a. Complete the table of values for y equals 5, take away x cubed. So you do have a calculator for this. I just need to substitute these values for x into the equation at the beginning. So the first point, to get my y value, I would need to do 5 take away negative 2 cubed, and on your calculator this would give you a value of 13. The next one would be 5 take away 0 cubed, which would be 5. This one would be 5 take away 1 cubed, which is 4. And the last one would be 5 take away 2 cubed, which is negative 3. Plot these points. So I have negative 2 and 13 would be up here. Negative 1 and 6 is here. 0 and 5 is here. 1 and 4 will be here. And 2 and negative 3 would be here. And connect these points with a smooth curve. Question 25. Work out the value of x. Give your answer correct to one decimal place. We have a right angle triangle involving an angle. So this will be trigonometry SOHCAHTOA. Label the triangle in reference to this angle that you've been given. So this would be the opposite, this would be the hypotenuse, and this would be the adjacent. and the two sides involved in this question are the hypotenuse and the opposite. So this would be the sine triangle, which is opposite over hypotenuse. And because I'm working out the value of x, which is the opposite, I cover that one up, and that tells me that I need to multiply these together. So sine of the angle, which is 34, don't forget to close the bracket and multiply this by the hypotenuse, which is 178, and this gives us a value of 99.5 to 1 decimal place. So the answer is 99.5 millimeters. Question 26. Find two lots of A, which is the column vector 3, 4. Take away 3 lots of B, which is the column vector 5, negative 2. So we need to do 2 lots of 3, 4, and then I'm taking away 3 lots of 5, negative 2. So 2 lots of 3, 4 would be 6, 8, and I'm taking away 3 lots of 5, negative 2, which would be 15, negative 6, and 6 take away 15 would give us negative 9, and 8 take away negative 6. Just be careful when you take away a negative number, that has the same effect as adding. So 8 plus 6 would be 14. Question 27. The diagram shows a right angled triangle and a quarter circle. The right angled triangle ABC has an angle of 90 degrees, which is shown here. The quarter circle has a centre and a radius. Work out the area of the quarter circle. Give your answer correct to 3 significant figures. To work out the area of this quarter circle, I'm going to need to know what the radius of the quarter circle is. And to do that, I'll be able to use the triangle that's been given to me attached to this side. So this is a right angle triangle, and I've been given the hypotenuse and one of the shorter sides. Find this length here, which is a shared length with the radius of the quarter circle. So using Pythagoras, I can square the lengths. 9 squared is 81, 6 squared is 36. Because I'm finding a shorter side, I can subtract, which is 45, and that tells me that the length would be the square root of 45. Now I know that this length is root 45. I can now use this to find the area of the quarter circle. To do that, I'll need to know what the area of the full circle is. It would be pi times the radius squared, so the square root of 45 squared. This would be equal to 45 pi, and because you want a quarter circle, you need to remember to divide this value by 4, which would be 35.3 meters squared, to 3 significant figures. Question 28. Each exterior angle of a regular polygon is 15 degrees. Work out the total number of sides of a polygon. So all of the exterior angles of a polygon always add to give you 360 degrees. So to work out the number of sides in the polygon, I can just do 360 divided by what each of the angles are, and that will tell me the number of sides, which is 24 sides. Question 29. Write down the gradient of the line with the equation y equals 2x plus 3. So y equals 2x plus 3, and the equation of a straight line takes the format y equals mx plus c, where m is the gradient and c is the y-intercept. So the gradient here would be 2.
Thanks for watching. If you found that video useful, don't forget to hit the like button and leave a comment. If you're struggling with maths or finding topics difficult, you can subscribe and turn on notifications to receive regular updates about new video tutorials. Don't forget to visit my website adamonlinetutoring.com for a full searchable list of all topics with exams, questions and solutions. You can also visit me on social media using the handle @AdamMathsTutor on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook and Twitter. All links in the description below.